Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at techtrader.com. It's the first trading day of 2018, January 2nd. These are the charts of the day. Really good start to the market. A nice explosive move, particularly on NASDAQ, where the NDX was up nearly 2%. A lot of stocks we followed did well, particularly some of the recent swings in marijuana, particularly ACBFF, as you see in front of you, Aurora Cannabis. After the pullback coil, we put a swing on it when it broke out about 5.5, 3/4. I had targets to 7 and 9, exceeded both targets today, getting up to 950, which is my final target. I think, though, that there's a possibility that if we blow off tomorrow morning up towards 11, 10 3/4, 11 would be an out for me. I just think that I don't think it's going straight up to 16. It could. But this is maybe a little bit too far, too fast. We'll see. The last time it ran, though, it ran up for 10 days in a row. This time it's up for about 6 days, so it may very well go 3 or 4 more days and get into the low to mid-teens. At this point, keep an eye on the lows for the day. Today's low being 807. So I put a stop under 8 for sure because we don't want this coming back to 7, 6, or 5 again. But with momentum the way this looks, you can see the long-term top of the channel says something in the high teens is very possible. I was just looking for a pullback retest or consolidation similar to what we had in here, maybe over the next week or two. Well, we'll just see what develops. ARRY broke out above a double top today, actually to a new multi-year high. It's the highest level on this sucker since 07, 10-year high. Now the volume today was pretty solid at 6.2 million. It looks to me like we're headed towards 15.5 on the next target. That's lateral resistance and channel top resistance. Well, At Home broke out of a 4-month, 5-month trading range today with a big pop of $7 or almost 11%. Volume was a solid 2.4 million, the biggest in a couple of months. So to me, this is a stock that's probably headed at least to 80 and maybe as high as 100 over the next few weeks. 80, something like 80 would be my near-term target. There's 5 days to cover, at least that's the old number I have. What a nice snapback on swing trade BlackBerry after the pop and then pull back for a week and fill the gap on lower volume. And today it exploded from 11.25 to 12.02 and closed right at the high for the day going away. So a nice look there. If you're looking at the overall chart pattern, you'll see after double topping, breaking out of the top, it gave you a swing. Then the pullback afforded you a good entry opportunity as it filled the gap. Now, if we get this up past the 12.35, 36 area as early as tomorrow, it's going to go to 13.25, 14 pretty quickly. My targets are 14 and 16 on a swing on this one. 13.6 old days to cover. Bold. Well, Adentis Therapeutics has been solid after it formed this base and broke out. It ran up and formed a wedge, and now it's been heading high. Today it took out the spike high from September, closed above it. My targets are 39 and then 45. Well, marijuana stocks are going bonkers. You saw the ACBFF. Well, here's the CANN. This, after an explosive move and a sharp retrace, about a 0.382 fib, held near the 50, then boom, 2.5 to 825. Way oversold, overbought. Short term, that's for sure. Now, what I want to point out is that the longer term resistance from way back in 2015 was about 9.5. Today we hit 8.25, so we may have a little bit more to go, but any extension here would be overbought to the point where I would exit the position temporarily. There may be a wave 3 coming. This is 1 and 2, this is 3, wave 4. Could take you back to 5.5, 6 on a consolidation retest. Eventually it could be low teens, we'll see. CENX, very strong aluminum stock, exploded through a double top today, maybe headed to 25.6. Longer term, I'm looking at low 30s. But for now, since it's been up for literally a month, I would look for some sort of consolidation after it does pop the next day or two a little bit further. You may see a pullback retrace to retest that breakup. CRBP, well, I put a swing on it today because after a long 1.5-year consolidation, it may be awakening. Today's pop from 710 to 8, closing at 795 up 85 cents with 12% of 2 million. To end with a close at the best close we've seen, even including this spike high. It closed above that. It's the best close we've seen since March, April, a long time. So if now we get up above the 8 3/4 range, which is my near-term target, this could very well spike into the double top at around 10.25, 10.5. That's my swing target. Beyond that, I'm looking at 14 and much more. According to this, 12.9 days to cover. CRC, well, our swing trade on the oil stock is doing great. Continues to move up nearly every day. My target's at 23 and 26.7 range. That one too says 12 and a half days to cover. Well, EDIT from 30 3/4 to 34.81 and closing at 34.32 up 359. A spectacular day for this stock on 2.1 million. It's the biggest volume on an update since early October when it spiked here. There's a possibility we get some follow through towards 38, but be careful because if looking at the long-term chart, unless we're accelerating and going to test this level up here at 38 and then get up into the 44, 45 range, mid-40s where the all-time high was, which would be my secondary target up around there. So it's 38 and 44 going forward, but I may need to see some consolidation retest in that zone since we're at the top of the near-term channel. Well, the Bitcoin investment trust GBTC, after getting hammered and then reversing, has formed a platform. This right-handed extended V needs to hold, in my opinion, 1865. And if it gets to 2,500, we should see 3,500 again, but my target would be then about, let's call it 3,000, or 2,990, 2,950, and then 3,500. INSY continues to accelerate with big volume the last two sessions. Today up another 191 or 20%, nearly 5 million traded. Is it short-term overheated? Yeah, but if it broke out above a double top today and through the declining tops line, it might very well get into that 13, 14 range, short-term. Stay tuned, 22 days to cover plus. Well, gold had some nice pop today as it broke out of a 3-day flag and popped for another $1.56 or almost 9% on 11 million, so volume is solid. I see a double top up here, which I think it might challenge. That's 20, 40, 45. We get up there tomorrow, look for a pullback. Ultimately, though, I'd be looking for mid-20s. Gold swing trade KL, Kirkland Lake, broke out, and today solidly broke out as it gapped and ran and jumped 69 cents or 4.5% on almost a million. And you can see this is a all-time high. And for me, this is projecting up near 18, 19. So let's watch for that. 18 and a half, 19. Well, with the biotechs leading the way today, LAB had a spectacular reversal engulfing bar today. See it? And it closed at the high end of the range. Matter of fact, it closed at the high for the day within a penny, up 624. That's 8%. Big move for the biotech indices today. My next target is 91 and then 100. Mark had a nice little mini reversal off the low of 921 to get up to 10.5, closing at 1035, up 62 cents. 6.4% on 1,000,006. Volume picked up above Friday's day. What we're going to need is for this to get to 11, 15, 16. And then, seriously, folks, at that point, I'm going to be looking for this stock to move into the 15 range. That's where I think it's going. Mid-channel. This is a distinct, to me, rising channel. And that channel is going to call for a move eventually to the mid-20s. But for now, 15 and 20 are my targets going forward. Let's wait to see if it gets over 11. Look, if this gets over 11, 15, 20, you got 3 or 4 points to go into the mid-teens, so why not wait for it? If you haven't bought the dip. NBIX swing trade from yesterday followed through after retesting the breakout point. It popped from 76 to over 80, closing 79.30 of 171 or 2.2%. Not a lot, but with volume picking up, this may very well get to 83 and then 89. Those are my targets. Marijuana, big marijuana play TWMJF after yesterday's reversal and then recovery. Today, it gapped up a little bit. It had an inside day. So what I need to see is, can this get over 26.40? Then we're maybe headed to 34.5. This could be spectacular. Keep an eye on it, but it is at the top of the channel and may need to do a pullback like it did in that zone. VKTX, I'm convinced that this rising flag is extremely bullish. Today's volume pickup to 1.6 million, the best in 4 weeks or 3 weeks. Tells me if this accelerates, you're going to see 5, 6, and 7 going forward. VRX forming a beautiful coil. Take a look at it, or wedge, whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is, if it breaks out of this, 24, 28 are targets. WPRT broke out across multiple tops today, and although it didn't finish at the high 433, 416 of 40 cents or 10.6% was good enough for me. Not to mention 3.6 million and rising OBV. Feels like it wants to be a $6 stock. Next target, let's call it 5.5, 6 range. XNET broke out of a wedge today with the breakaway gap. With volume increasing to one of the biggest of the year, I'm looking for this stock to make a move to mid-range for starters. And that would be about 40, 41 range up there. Beyond that, if this channel is true, might very well see a stock in the mid-50s. Chinese real estate company XIN popped out of a wedge yesterday and then backed up, and today it followed through. There's your wedge. We popped and closed at the high end of the range and near the upper end of the channel. So this is, for me, either we explode and accelerate here to 8 or 9, or we pull back and consolidate. XNET may be breaking out of a coil. Take a look at the pattern. It looks like it's set up to go higher. Should it get above 17, 17 3/4, 18 above there, this could be a $25 stock again pretty quickly. And lastly, XXII, which has been trending all year. This low price stock has gone literally from under $1 to 3.5, pulled back, and now it's coming out again. Resistance at 350, if tested and taken out, should lead to 450 and then 550. And those are my longs for the today. Let's make some money tomorrow. Good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.